Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be my makeup monthly for the month of March. If you are new to my makeup monthlies, it's similar to like a monthly favorites video or monthly favorites and fails, but I actually have three main categories that I talk about. I do talk about my favorites, I talk about my fails, and then I also do have a find category where I talk about some of the products that were just okay for me. Maybe they would work well for someone else, but I just want to be able to categorize them as an absolute favorite. I love this product so much, so it's just like one big long review video. I also do a channel shout out in my makeup monthlies, and I also am, if you do not know, I am a published author and book blogger. So after we get finished talking about makeup and beauty, I actually do touch on the books that I gave a 5-star review to on my book blog throughout the month, and I do have 4 titles this month actually, so it's a pretty good reading month for me. So if you're interested in books at all and would want some reading recommendations, I give those at the end of the video, but I always have a lot to chat about and I'm already losing my voice, so that's perfect. But why don't we go ahead and get started. I feel like I've been sick forever, but it's like in my throat now a lot, so I keep losing my voice and it's really fun. But to start off, I am going to start off in the fail category. I have quite a few fails this month, which is a bummer. This one I did review fairly recently, so I'll just touch on it quickly. This is from Milk Makeup. This is the Luminous Blur Stick. Yeah, Luminous Blur Stick. So Milk Makeup came out with the original Blur Stick and a lot of people really enjoyed it, myself being one of them. They came out with this Luminous Blur Stick and unfortunately for me, it was just a huge miss. I used this in a first impression video, so I did review it in my first impression follow-up fairly recently, and I said it just really wasn't for me. It just doesn't do anything flattering for my skin, and no matter what foundation I was putting over it, nothing, it just wouldn't sit right. It made my face kind of like slick and just like kind of shiny and weird looking, and not in like a luminous, glowy, nice way. A big thank you to Milk Makeup for sending this to me to be able to try out. I wish that I would have enjoyed it. I thought that I would with how much I enjoy the Blur Stick, and I do like looking luminous, but man, unfortunately that one missed the mark for me. Next up here, I have a setting spray. This is from Covergirl. It's the Look Lock Up All Day Setting Mist. Covergirl is coming out with a bunch of new releases lately. I've been really lucky to get a few packages from them. And when I saw this setting spray, I like setting sprays. I use them quite a bit. I think they're a cool thing. And I want to say I used this in like a first impression video as well. And I was like, oh no, what just happened? I don't know if you would be able to see the mist on camera, but it's like, oh, it just right in your face. And the first time I sprayed it, I was like, bah, bah, bah. What just happened? What just happened to my face? It is a very intense spray, and it leaves like the water droplets on your face. It can really mess up your makeup. It has quite an intense fragrance to it that I don't love, because it's not like a nice fragrance. It's just intense. But the sprayer on this guy is just whoop, right in your face, and it's nope, that's a little much for me. It doesn't do anything good for my makeup, so this one is a no-go for me. This is about $11.99, and no, there are definitely better setting sprays on the market. Oh boy, this next one was an interesting one. This is the Revlon Photo Ready InstaFilter Foundation. Okay then, so I got this in PR as well. I think all of my fails came for me in PR, which, you know, I'm so grateful to get PR. I'm so excited when I do, but it definitely doesn't mean that I'm always gonna love everything. And you know what? I think PR is a good thing, so I can tell people what I think about some of these products and maybe save you some money, or maybe convince you to spend money. I don't know, whichever you want to do. But this one, this little guy, this is like an $18 foundation from the drugstore, which is super pricey. So right off the bat, that's pretty crazy. The applicator is very interesting. So this is what it looks like, and you actually twist it up from the bottom, and then it'll come out, and you can use it to apply, you can use it to blend in. I don't really love the sponge to blend it in. It just kind of, it felt weird. I felt like it was kind of streaky. So usually after I like start to dab it in, I'll grab a brush or a beauty blender and buff it in the rest of the way. This foundation oxidized on me. I mean, I'm not kidding, like 6 shades darker. If you guys caught my videos that I did when Georgia Harris was down here, we talked about this foundation a lot, because the first night that we met, I made a comment about like, I'm not sure I really like this foundation. It's I think it was my second time trying it, and we were out at the Olive Garden, and I was like, I'm just not really sure how confident I am with this foundation, and she was like, I'm glad you said that because it looks crazy on you. And I was like, why? What happened? I hadn't looked at myself in the mirror for probably like 5 hours. I got done filming and started working. I looked up and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta go meet Georgia. And when I pulled out my mirror and looked at it, I was like, whoa. And then the next day when we were getting ready, I used a foundation that doesn't oxidize on me. And we were at dinner that night and she's like, it's just so funny. You look like a completely different person from last night. She's like, yeah, okay. So, whoa. I was trying out the shade 220 Natural Beige, but it's just bizarre how dark it turns me. But it also doesn't do a lot of nice things to the skin, like the same as I was saying with the Milk Makeup Blur Stick. It doesn't really do anything flattering for me. I again feel that with this. I do have drier skin and I feel like it really clings to all of the dry patches, so that's not very cute. And I don't know, you know, I just turned 31, so I don't have the youngest skin in the world, and I feel like maybe with more mature skin, I don't think that this foundation necessarily looks great on it. So in combination of it just like not sitting well on the skin, clinging to dry patches, and then oxidizing and extreme. I have never had a foundation make me that dark before. Never. So this one is a big ol' no-go for me. I will not be using the Revlon foundation anymore. That was crazy. And for $18, like I really wanted to love it. I really did, but that was a no. The next item I have here, oh man, I'm so bummed about this because I was so excited. This is from Kevyn Aucoin, one of my favorite brands. I love this brand so much. It's the Prismagic Highlighting Trio. Oh, I got this in the mail and I was like, oh, this looks so cool. I love Kevyn Aucoin. I'm not gonna lie, I opened it up and I was like, I'm not 100% about these highlights. Like they immediately just looked interesting to me. Let's say that you can use these for face, eyes, or lips. So I do want to say that you can kind of do whatever it is that you want to do with these. But I used the first one as a highlight and I was like, oh no, it's just glitter. It's just glitter. Here's what the swatches look like. This one does swatch pretty good, but it's also extremely, extremely chunky. But so you can see they have like these holographic shifts to it. But when you blend it out, it really is, it's a lot of glitter and it's a lot of just, it just doesn't do much. I mean, I feel like it definitely swatches better on my fingers than it actually looks on my skin, because you see how it has that purple iridescent? That's not what it looks like on my skin. It looks like little flecks of glitter with maybe a highlight. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. I used this one right here and kind of dabbed it on the eyes just to see. It's better that way. It's better that way. So if you are really into a holographic trend, I would get this more for your eyes than for your face. But it just really didn't look the best on me. I didn't like how much glitter was in it, and then it just kind of all falls off your face and there's really nothing there. The first time I used it, I was getting ready to film and I was like, my highlight, like this just looks weird on my face. I look like I have flecks of glitter all over me. So I kind of had to do my best to clean it up and then put an actual highlight on. So that's when I wanted to try it on my eyes, since it is good for that. I'm not someone who really puts powder on my lips or does holographic things with my lips. So I didn't try it that way. And you know, maybe if that's something that you need, but there's probably other, you know, powders or highlights or eyeshadows even that you could use if you do want that effect. And this is $48, but oh man, I'm so bummed that this was a miss for me, because I really, really do like this brand and I like so many items from them, but unfortunately this one just did not look good. And then the very last item, I almost forgot that I have, because I don't have them anymore. I don't know if I left these in Georgia's hotel room. I might have when she was down here visiting me, but I'll put a picture on the screen. It's from Pacifica, and these are like makeup remover wipes, and it's from, I think, one of their newer lines. They're these pineapple wipes. I'll have everything linked down below. I link out everything, whether it's a fail for me or a favorite for me. I link my makeup and all of that stuff in the description box. You can always check there. But these wipes, they smell really good. I don't even like pineapple, but I do like the smell of pineapple, and they smell really good. They're very heavily fragranted, but they don't do anything. They don't take anything off. They really just kind of like smear. Like I was using it to remove swatches one day, and it really was just like smearing things on my hand. And then I had put them in my purse for when I was visiting Georgia. And even she used them and she was like, what are these? These do absolutely nothing. I was like, I have no idea. So as an actual makeup remover wipe, I definitely would not recommend. If you don't like scents, you would hate that. Especially, I would never put something that scented close to my eyes, because I do have sensitive eyes. So I would not really recommend it at all for taking your makeup off. But even if you are someone who you like to have makeup remover wipes handy for swatches, it's driving me crazy to have swatches on my finger, I would not recommend that either, because it really just made more of a mess than anything. So unfortunately, the Pacifica pineapple makeup remover wipes were a miss for me as well. So a lot of fails this month. Ah, that hurts. So I'm gonna move over to the find category, talking about some products that I thought were pretty decent, not a favorite. Maybe some of you might enjoy them. I just like to review products. I did also want to show you, I went to wipe off the Kevyn Aucoin swatches, and if you can see from my fingers, I don't know if you'd be able to see the best, but if you can just see that like fine glitter all over my hands, that's what this looks like on my face when I try to use it as a highlighter. So I thought I would show you guys that because I feel like it's a product that swatches better than it performs on, because I got pretty hyped over the swatches, but now I just feel like I'm full of glitter. So that's great. Okay, so the first item that I want to talk about are these Lux lipsticks from Colourpop. These confuse me, I'm not gonna lie. I've talked about them a little bit in the past and I've worn them in some videos. I have 3 shades here. I actually had beauty blogger Babba's Beauty send me a really sweet package, which was so awesome. And she sent some of these Colourpop lipsticks so I could try them out, which made me super happy because I know a lot of people have been very curious about these. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably bought them if you were curious about them because they're only like $7, which is nice and affordable, of course, but I can't quite figure these out because I have 3 different shades and they seem to perform differently. So I have a hard time getting a good handle on them. So I have the shades Still Crazy, which this is the first lipstick that I wore. It's a really nice kind of like rosy nude pink, I would say, I don't know. And I really like it. I like the way it applied. It applied very creamy, but these are supposed to be a matte lipstick. And it didn't apply like a matte lipstick, which I enjoyed because I don't necessarily love like a really tough matte lipstick. But then it also never looked matte on my lips. It continually looked creamy, just like it applied. I could rub my lips together just fine. And I was like, okay, maybe I got it wrong and these aren't matte lipsticks. And then I tried out the shade Humble Pie, and even it was a little bit more difficult putting it on than the other one, but still not bad. And there's a shade of Humble Pie. It wasn't too bad putting it on and it looked creamy, but it definitely got matte. I could tell that it was matte on my lips. It was harder to rub my lips together, but it also looked very dry. Like my lips kind of suffer right now with the dry season. It's apparently spring, but no one's apparently told Iowa that it's spring yet. And it just didn't look great. And I was like, okay, so that looks different than the other one. And then I also have the shade Money Side Up. And this one is, it's like a cross between the two. It's not as creamy as the first one. It's not as matte as the second one. It's like in between. And I'm like, what are these? I'm confused. So do you guys have these lipsticks? What is your finish? How does it apply for you? Do you find discrepancies between different colors? Because for me, it's really hard as a reviewer to review a product that is so different amongst the different shades. I don't really know what to do. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if this is a matte lipstick. I don't know if it's a creamy lipstick. I don't know what this is supposed to be. So I don't dislike the lipsticks except for the one that is pretty darn matte, Humble Pie. I don't feel like it looks very flattering on the lips. It's just too matte and like not in a liquid lipstick matte kind of way. It's just like in a bad kind of way. So this one I don't enjoy, but these two I like, especially Still Crazy because of how creamy it is, but I don't know. I wanted to be able to review the Colourpop lipsticks and let you know what I think about them, but it's also really hard to review them because all 3 shades that I have perform differently. So I think that's very weird. These are nice and affordable. I like the packaging. They have a really big color selection, which is great. You just kind of might go into it as a gamble. I don't really know what to tell you. So I would love to know, especially if you guys have the 3 colors that I have, and what do you think? Do you have the same experience that I did? I don't know, I was just a little bit baffled about these. So next up I want to talk about these eyeshadow palettes from Wet n Wild. I know that these have been out for a while and everybody has reviewed them and done comparisons on them and everything, so I don't even know if people care about these anymore. But my really sweet friend Lisa Stevens actually sent these to me, which I was so excited about. A big thank you to Lisa for that package. I will have her channel linked down below. I talk about Lisa all the time, but if for some reason you haven't checked her out yet, you should go send her some love. She needs it right now. We love you, Lisa. But she did send these along to me, so I've been trying them out. And I was pretty excited about these because I do like the Wet n Wild eyeshadows. One of their like little trios in Silent Treatment, that was like one of my first like eyeshadow palettes when I was starting YouTube, and I was like super excited over it. And I think I did like a smoky eye tutorial on YouTube or something. Oh, that's probably embarrassing to watch. But so they kind of like revamped and they came out with these 10-pan palettes, and they're $4.99. Like $5 for these, I think that's amazing. So I have Not a Basic Peach, Nude Awakening, and then Rosé in the Air. And I know a lot of people were really excited over Rosé in the Air because it was supposed to be like a modern Renaissance dupe. For me, I think that these are okay. I mean, for $5, I don't think that you can go wrong. I don't think you're going to be wasting your money if you purchase these. If I had purchased these myself for the $5, I would be very happy. I mean, but I can't say that these are a favorite. I can't say that these are an absolute standout. I can't say when I'm looking at my eyeshadow palettes and deciding what palette I'm going to wear for that day that I'm like, ooh, that one Wild is really speaking to me. They're decently pigmented, but nothing that really like blows me away. I think this one was actually the first one that I tried, and I was like, okay, that was all right. And then I actually tried, I think it was this one, Not a Basic Peach, and this one I didn't feel like was as good as the first one, and especially the blue in there I was really excited about, and you could barely see the blue no matter what I was doing, the setting sprays I was using. Oh man, it just really didn't show up at all, and I was like, man, that was the color like I was super excited about in here, and it just didn't really do much. So this one, I didn't feel like it was as good as the other one. And then the Nude Awakening, I feel like this is kind of like my type of eyeshadow palette, very nude and neutrals and all of that fun stuff. But again, the shimmers in here were just really, really hard to work with, and you just really have to take your time building them up. I feel like they can be a nice base, especially if you're gonna use like a glitter. A lot of times when I've been reaching for these palettes, I would find myself topping it with a glitter just to give some sort of oomph. These could be really nice if I get asked a lot of questions like, what kind of makeup should I wear to the office? You know, I'm somewhere where I can't work somewhere where I can't wear wild makeup or things like that. I think these palettes would be a really good choice for you, especially this one. For beginner in makeup, these could be a good choice for you, you know, things like that. But for me and for like my quality of eyeshadow palettes that I prefer, they're just not my absolute favorite, but they're not a miss, they're not a fail, they still work nice. You just kind of have to take your time with them and build shadows up and all of that fun stuff. But again, for $5, I mean, I honestly don't think that you can go wrong. Alrighty, to finish off the fine category, I have 2 skincare products to chat about here. I have this one from Pixi in their Skin Treats collection. This is the Rose Caviar Essence. It says it's a moisture serum. So I did get this sent to me in PR as well, and a lot of people asked, will you review this essence? And I was like, of course I will. I love trying out skincare. So it says that it's a serum essence to melt into the skin, delivering fresh botanicals to hydrate and restore brightness. So this is for all skin types. And this, I just don't feel like did anything. And I feel like sometimes skincare is hard to review because I feel like your skin just knows when something is working for you, when something is not working for you, when something is fabulous for your skin. I feel like your skin knows, and it's kind of hard to explain that to another person. But as I was using this, I was like, I just don't feel anything. Like, I didn't feel like it was really doing anything for my skin. I didn't see a lot of brightening going on, but it wasn't bad for my skin. It didn't break me out, it didn't like clog my pores or anything like that. It does smell really nice, and I mean, like, it feels okay on the skin as well, but it was just nothing that like overly excited me. And again, I didn't see anything from using it, and I used it consistently in the morning. After I would cleanse my face, I would put this on. I used it consistently for about 2 to 3 weeks or so, and then I stopped using it and my skin was fine. Like, it wasn't like calling for me to start using the essence again. So it's just okay for me, but also it's $24, which that is very expensive. Pixi is a drugstore brand, but they get into those higher price points, and I don't think that I could recommend it for $24. Again, it's not a fail. It didn't do anything bad for my skin, but at the same time, it didn't do anything good, and I think that it's pretty overpriced, and there's better things on the market. So this one was meh, just okay. So next up, I have a item here from Korres. This is the Wild Rose Smoothie Brightening Priming Moisturizer. Okay, so I got this one sent to me from a PR company, not necessarily from Korres themselves. This is a brightening moisturizer, and I actually agree. I think that you can see a difference in brightening when you do use this, especially if you use it consistently, which I was doing for a while. $45 on the Sephora website. And this is another one that I think it's okay. I like that it does what it says it's going to do. I like that you can see results when using it, but it's not a moisturizer that like absolutely knocked my socks off. If I didn't have it in my collection, I would be like, no, I need to repurchase it right away. But I thought that it was pretty decent at what it does. If this is something that interests you, the ingredients interest you, the brightening effect interests you, it's a nice lightweight moisturizer. It has a nice scent to it, but nothing too overpowering, nothing too overwhelming. But you know, it is $45 for a moisturizer, which can, you know, start to get up there in price. But I think that it was pretty good. Just nothing that was an absolute favorite of mine, but I liked it. I'll continue using it until it's gone, but just not an absolute favorite. And then I actually do have one more item in the fine category as well. These are new from Morphe, and these are their gel liners. So I got these sent to me in PR, which I was really excited for. I feel like gel liners are kind of like making a comeback. I'm seeing more and more brands kind of put out these gel liners, and I used to be a big fan of gel or cream liners. It was like all that I wore for the longest time, and now I prefer more of like a pen style liquid liner. But I was like, you know what, I'll go ahead and give these a try. I tried out Stargazer first, which was really interesting to me. I really went to town on this liner. I don't know if you'd be able to tell on camera, but it's black, but it has sparkle in it, like very fine flecks of like silver glitter. And I was like, oh, that's just kind of cool to have some glitter in my liner. I think that that's pretty neat. You know, the glitter doesn't show up at all. It's just black. So I'll just throw that right out there. If you are interested in this because you think it's a glitter liner, it's not actually a glitter liner. But as an eyeliner, I thought that it looked pretty nice. It's not the blackest liner by far that I have used, and I don't know if that was because of the glitter that was in there. I'm not really sure, but it was a fine liner and it was very smooth. It applied very easily, and I was like, okay, perfect. Like, you know, probably not going to be a favorite of mine, and I'm really disappointed about the glitter, but it went on pretty well. These are $9 if you're interested in getting them. I think they're only available on the Morphe site. That's what I think about the Morphe liners, and that's everything in the fine category. Alrighty, so I'm going to switch over to my favorites before I jump into makeup and beauty and then finish it off with books. I'd like to do a channel shout out in my makeup monthly every month. I love being able to work with other YouTubers. I love doing collab videos. I love recommending my friends. It's just one of my favorite things to do, so I've been including a channel shout out in my makeup monthly for, I'm going to say the past 6 months maybe. I feel like it's been a while. And how I choose how to do my channel shout out is that I actually send out a beauty newsletter once a month where I give some further reviews in there. I talk about new upcoming releases, things like that. And then I also do have a beauty blogger feature in there as well with a short Q&A with a fellow beauty blogger, and then that is who I mentioned in my channel shout out video. The feature for the month of April is Elle S. She is somewhat of a newer channel to me. I mean, within the past couple months here or so, but once I started watching her videos, I just got completely sucked in. I just love her personality. I love her makeup vibes. She's someone who definitely has a different style than me, like a makeup style. She is so good at creating really cool, colorful, but like edgy, unique. I mean, like sometimes she goes editorial. Like the looks that she comes up with, it just is inspiring to me so much. I just love watching her channel, but she's got a lot of really great chatty videos as well. And she's someone who I like watching her channels because I feel like she makes me kind of like stop and think about things, you know, within the beauty community, within the beauty industry. And I just think that she's such a fun person to watch. I would highly recommend her channel. I watch all of her videos, and I feel like I walk away watching one of her videos either learning something or thinking about something or just being inspired to play with makeup. And I love that she really has no boundaries when it comes to makeup. She'll just go ahead and push the limit to whatever it is that she wants to do, and she's just kind of like unapologetically herself, and I think that's just amazing. And I love watching that on YouTube. So I highly recommend Elle's channel if you want to catch an interview with her in my newsletter. That link will be down below. I will have Elle's channel linked down below as well. If you are not yet subscribed to her, I definitely think that you should be. And then I'm going to go ahead and switch over and talk about some of my beauty favorites for the month. So the first two I'll just touch on briefly because I did also review them in my first impression follow-up video, but when I like really love something, I also want to make sure, like, I know not everybody watches every single video, so if sometimes you see repeated items, it's because I do understand that. And with the makeup monthlies, like if that's the only video of mine you watch, I want to make sure that I'm mentioning the products that I really do feel strongly about. First one here are these liquid lipsticks from Pixi. These are their Matte Last liquid lipsticks, and these are bomb liquid lipsticks. These are so good. I love the applicator on these. These are really smooth to apply to the lips. They come to a nice pointed tip so you can easily line your lips. The colors in the line are so very beautiful. The one that I wear the most is Pastel Petal. It's a really nice kind of deeper nude pink, I would say. They smell nice as well, but they last a really long time, and I just think they're fabulous liquid lipsticks. I've been very impressed with these, and I've been seeing them pop up more and more. More people are talking about these, and it's for a good reason. They're about $15. Again, they're on the higher price point for a drugstore brand. Is there something different we can call Pixi? Because I don't feel like they're drugstore. But these are really good. I would recommend them. And then the other one is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. I got a mini for $15, and if you can tell, like I'm doing pretty good on my mini. I love this primer. This primer makes so many foundations look so good on my skin. The only foundation that has not looked good with this primer is that Revlon. And it's because it's just a fail overall, okay? But this is a bomb primer. It has hyaluronic acid in it. It makes you look really hydrated and just makes your skin look so good, especially if I'm doing like a full coverage foundation or a really mattifying foundation. I'll put this on and it looks beautiful. So I've been talking about this one and raving about this a lot, but for a good reason. It's pretty bomb. So moving on, I have a blush here. I bought this one because I was hearing so many people rave about this blush, and I was like, I want to get it. And then I went to my new Ulta. I got a half off coupon, and I thought, score! And I purchased the Flower Beauty blush. This is called their Flower Pots Powder Blush, and I got mine in the shade Peach Primrose. Another, like, I feel like I even heard about this shade a lot. So it's a super pretty blush with kind of that flower imprint in there, but dang, this is a nice blush. It is $10, which is a little bit pricey. Again, I got mine for $5, and I feel like I'm winning there. This is super pigmented. Like, I need a very, very light hand going into this blush, and it creates a beautiful peachy sheen onto the cheeks. I have a feeling I'm going to especially love this blush in the springtime, but I mean, I feel like it's fantastic. I know why everybody was talking about it. I have no regrets purchasing this blush, and I just think it's great. So if you're looking for a really solid blush, I definitely recommend the one from Flower Beauty. I do have some skincare to chat about as well. This is what I've been using as a sleeping mask on a very consistent basis. This is from Patchology. It's the Restoring Night Cloud Mask. So this is $40. You can find it at Ulta. I also do have a discount code with Patchology if you would use their website. Not a sponsored video, but I really enjoy this mask. If you can see, I'm gonna have to start like scraping on the sides there. This is one of those skincare products, like what I was talking about earlier, that you can feel it working on your skin. It does have retinol in it, which is good for anti-aging. Your girl just turned 31. It also has hyaluronic acid, great for hydration, so that's really awesome. But it's something that when you put it on your skin, you do feel it tingling. And it's a sleeping mask. I put this on before bed, and it just, I'm like, yes, it's working. Because it's a weightless whipped mask, and I do agree. It feels very lightweight, and it feels like hydrating, but it's not like greasy at the same time. So it just feels really good. I've been using it pretty consistently for quite some time, and I really enjoy it as a sleeping cream. So that one is from Patchology. And then my last beauty favorites to talk about, these are from TheBalm. These are their new Take Home the Bronze bronzers. So they came out with 3 new bronzers. They have 3 different shades in here, and I actually use them for a variety of different reasons. I have this one in Oscar, which I use as a contour shade, and it is what I have as my contour shade today. And then also Tony is what I use as my bronzer, and I do have it as my bronzer shade on today. They do also have Graham E, which is too dark for my skin tone, but I do think it's really nice that they have different options. Are $17.50 a piece. I like the packaging on it. TheBalm has such cute packaging, and I also do like that it has little mirrors in it as well. These I think are really good. I have them on today. I find myself reaching for them quite a bit. They are really easy to blend out. They're really nice and pigmented, especially the ones that I use as the bronzer Tony. I need a very light hand with that one, but luckily it's really easy to blend out as well. And yeah, I would just highly recommend these from TheBalm. And then after that, that's gonna do it for my makeup and beauty favorites. If this is where you guys are ending the video, I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. I do want to say that definitely another favorite of mine, without making this video too long, is all of you guys and all of your support. The day that I'm filming is the day that I hit 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is so crazy. It was a really exciting moment. That's such a big number. That's such a big number in my mind, so it was really cool to see that. The past couple months here have been very challenging and interesting. I went through some rough times in my personal life, some things I shared publicly, some things I chose not to share publicly, and it's just been kind of like it's just been kind of difficult, and to have such a wonderful community behind me and so many new friends that I've made, I just feel so entirely grateful. So thank you guys so much. You're definitely a big favorite of mine as well. Okay, I get emotional in like every video. Why is this new? Anyways, I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video, but if you do also want to get some book recommendations, if you need some reading recommendations, I'll go ahead and jump into the 4 books that I gave a 5-star review to. I of course will have my book blog linked down below as well. It's chicletplus.com. I usually do about 2 or so book reviews a week over there. So I'll have that one listed down below, and for each book I will have my book review, and then I will also put in the Amazon link as well. The first one that I want to talk about is called Skipping Out on Henry, and this is by C.L. Ogilvie. I'm not 100% I'm saying that correctly. This is a chick lit book. We follow 2 friends, Tabitha and Posey, and it has some of my favorite elements. It's chick lit, which is like women's fiction but lighthearted and humorous, but it also has time travel in it, and I was like, yes! I love kind of like magical realism and twists in books where like you know something extraordinary is happening and it probably can't happen in real life, but it somehow works out in real life in the book. I love it. So they actually time travel all the way back to when Henry VIII was king. They get into all kinds of trouble with Henry VIII. I was laughing throughout the book. I love the time travel aspect to it. I love the friendship aspect to it. I love friendship fiction. It's actually what I typically write, is friendship fiction, and the dynamic between the 2 girls was so much fun to read. But if you need a good laugh, if you also enjoy anything like time travel or chick lit, I would highly recommend Skipping Out on Henry. The next 2 titles I have are pretty different. In my Q&A, someone asked what are my favorite genres to read, and I said chick lit, and then I said thriller/suspense. I have 2 very different spectrums that I enjoy reading. But the next one is called The Broken Girls by Simone St. James. This is a ghost story that scared me. There was a night that I was home alone reading this, and I was like, someone there? Like, this is kind of spooky. Kind of get 2 different time frames in here, and it's all kind of focusing on an abandoned girls boarding school from like the 1950s. And you know, I'm already creeped out saying those terms, but we get the girls in the 1950s who went to the boarding school, and then we also get present tense where the school has now been abandoned, but someone has bought it and they're trying to fix it up, but they are finding all kinds of spooky things in there. There's a ghost in there. There's some interesting police work at play here, and it's just a fantastic story. I don't want to give too much away with this one because there's a lot of interesting twists and turns throughout the way. The ending pretty much, like, very much surprised me. But I will say that it's spooky. The ghost part of the story definitely kind of like gave me the creeps throughout the way, but it's a really good story. There's a lot of history in this book as well that I thought was, it was difficult to read, a lot to do with like the Holocaust. All around a fantastic book that left me pretty scared. And then the other one that I have is more on the thriller side. This is called Look For Me by Lisa Gardner, and this one was more, how would I say, it was more graphic than some novels that I tend to prefer. I do like thriller and I do like suspense, but I don't like really overly graphic books or like gory books or anything like that. My camera actually died while I was talking, not just overheated, it died, so I know I've been talking for a very long time, so I'm not sure where I left off. But it didn't deter me too much if I was talking about the kind of graphic violence in there, because it wasn't too overwhelming, it wasn't totally throughout, but I did want to point out if that's not something that you enjoy, you wouldn't like this novel either. But it's about basically a family, an entire family that gets murdered in their own home except for the teenage daughter, but the teenage daughter is missing. It's being questioned if she murdered her entire family, and then there's a lot more that comes into play, and we get a lot of different point of views from the detective on the case and then also from the girl who is on the run. And it's just very interesting how everything comes together. It was a very powerful story about family, but it was very, very sad. When the ending came about, I cried for quite some time because it just was a really heartbreaking story. It was hard to read, but it was a really, really good book. At the same time, it was fantastic writing. It kept me on the edge of my seat. I was very much in the mystery aspect the entire time. So really good book. You know, definitely just some harder scenes to get through. So that was a look for me. And then the last one that I have is called The Big Job, and this is by Libby Kirsch. It's going to be kind of difficult to talk about this one because it is a part of a series. And is this the third or fourth book in the series. It's quite a ways down in the series. I have read the entire series. It's the Stella Reynolds mystery series. It's very much more of a lighthearted mystery than the book that I was just talking about. Stella Reynolds is actually a TV reporter, but at the same time she kind of does her own investigating on the side and kind of gets wrapped up in some mysteries. Again, much more lighthearted, much more scaled back than the book that I was talking about previously. But I love this series. I think it's so much fun. I really enjoy mystery novels as well. I would love to write one day. I mentioned that in my Q&A as well. Only would I recommend The Big Job, but I think that even though you can read it as a standalone, I would just suggest the mystery series as a whole. So it's the Stella Reynolds mystery series. Again, I'll have everything linked down below. So that's the final book that I want to chat about for my makeup monthly, and then after that, that's gonna do it for my March makeup monthly. Alright guys, that's gonna be everything for today's video. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of my favorites, my fails, the products that I thought was just okay, some book recommendations, a channel recommendation. I know I always put a lot into these videos, but I like to do just one big monthly wrap up, and I enjoy making these, even though my camera usually dies while I'm making these videos. But if you guys did enjoy today's video, of course, I hope that you will give this one a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go. Thank you again for all of the love and support. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video.